Hi, and welcome to Underground Video Network's Behind the Counter. Mike here. As with me always is Richard.
Whoa, you're wearing the Doctor Who outfit again.
That's right. Right now we're in Columbus, Ohio for OhioCon 2012.
Correct. It's pretty big this year again. We walked around a little bit and we decided to start shooting. I think it's going to be a fun day down here.
This is my first year getting able to go to OhioCon. I was told that the costume serves two purposes. One, it's to celebrate cosplay, and two, you fit in. The people not in costume here are the one that people look around and go, yeah, look at that guy. So we've got a full day of shooting to get done. There's so much here to see, so many people we want to talk to. Why are we standing around talking? Rich, let's go inside. Just a reminder, this is actually day 2 of OhioCon, Saturday, and just to give you an idea of how immensely popular and packed this place is, this is just a line to get in. One of the big draws to OhioCon is the cosplay and the cosplay contest. Instead of focusing on them, which we normally do, I thought it would be a great chance to highlight some of the true heroes of the con. Now, you want to talk about some people that have some of the hardest work. We've talked to volunteers before, but these guys, I don't envy you at all. These are the judges of the costume contest. Now let me ask you, what do you look for in a winning costume?
Well, there are a few different things we judge on. We judge first on craftsmanship. That's the technical skill of how well the costume is put together. That can be your sewing skills, your prop making skills. We also judge on accuracy. You bring in a reference image and we judge your costume that you've created against the reference image you bring in. So if someone has really amazing craftsmanship but they don't look like their character, that's not a very good representation. So we try to balance between those. We also judge on creativity. So if someone has a really good skill of taking for example, a discarded or recycled object and turning it into part of their costume, we might give points for that because of the creativity involved.
Right. Anyone else want to jump in, or did she?
I think she hit it on the nail. Yeah.
Okay. How long have each of you, real quick, been a judge, or is this your first year? Have you done this for a while?
This is my first year at OhioCon.
First year?
I've been a judge for about 2 years.
2 years?
It's my first time judging.
First time judging?
Judging about a year.
Okay. Highlight each one of you just one of those costumes that just jumped out at you. And don't worry, nobody outside will see this until later on, so no spoilers.
This weekend.
Or in general, at all.
In general.
Oh, that's too hard.
Okay, this year. This year. Because they won't see it yet.
This year, there was a Madoka I thought was very lovely that really caught my eye, that I fangirled over a little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm a big Zelda fan, Legend of Zelda, so all of the ones that have come through have been really nice. I think my favorite that we saw was the one from Twilight Princess when it's Link still in the village, his costume. I think that was definite fan favorite there. So
I have to agree with the Zelda one.
Zelda's?
Yeah.
Not so much for the costume being so jaw-dropping as much as the prop, but we had a pair from Chrono Crusade, and they had a mechanized, this rigged backpack where he pulled the strap and the entire back flew open and guns popped out, and just that prop was amazing.
I
really enjoyed the
specialize
prop.
in prop making, and when I saw that was like,
jaw drop.
that was awesome. I was like, yes!
We made him load it and do it again because we wanted to see it again.
I think we made him do it 3 times.
Yes.
Oh, come on, by the second time, he's thinking, oh, yeah.
It was a very fun prop. It was very entertaining.
It was. It worked very smooth, too.
Yes.
You?
We had a Blue Blaze group. Is that Blaze Blue?
Yeah.
Excellent craftsmanship on both of them, so that was fun to see.
Okay. Well, I know you guys are extremely busy, so one last question. This is my first year at OhioCon, too, and my first year coming in costume, so...
Doctor Who? Let's see. Did you make this yourself? Did you use a pattern? Do you have a reference image I could look at?
I have my...
Screwdriver work.
On a Wii, it does.
There's no light?
There's no light. But I can't make Mario jump, though. Look at Mario go.
Bring that in as part of your judging. Bring a reference image with it, and we can score you on that.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot very much.
You're welcome.
All right, so here we are still at OhioCon. We're in the general area right now.
What did I tell you about the fez?
Pond! All right, Mike here, and I'm in Artist Alley. The beautiful woman next to me is Ashley Riot, otherwise known on the internet as Queen Riot. I have to first say, I am a huge fan of your work.
Thank you very much.
Your art and your cosplay. We talk to a lot of cosplayers on the show. You've taken it to a whole nother level. You know, we go to a lot of smart shows like this, but I mean, the level of detail that you've put into your work. Can I ask you, when did you first get started doing cosplay?
Well, I first got it started in high school in like 2000, 2001. And it was my first convention. I would have been 13.
I hate you.
I would have been 13 years old. And I decided to go to my first MegaCon, which was a comic book show in Orlando. And I did it on a whim, and I was very nervous my first time because I thought nobody dressed up at these things. Because I'd never gone before.
I know the
So
feeling.
I dressed up as Yuffie from Final Fantasy VII, and it was like the worst costume ever. And it was like made from a tank top out of my closet kind of thing. Hardly anybody recognized me. Tinfoil armor. But I was a fan of the series, and it was very exciting for me to just portray a character that I liked. And when I went to the show, I was blown away by other people's costumes. One, because I found out that other people did this. I didn't know. I was so nervous I was going to stand out. And two, that there was the community of people that had put that level of detail into it, that would actually work on their costumes. Because at first I thought people were either hired by companies and, you know, got their costumes made for them.
Right.
Or they bought them online. And I was like, you know, I'm a teenager. I don't have money to do that. But it was really the community that moved me to get better at this kind of stuff. It was like the group of people online on cosplay.com just like giving out tips to new people like me on how to sew, what fabrics to buy, and just all those. And I've made every mistake in the book. You know, hot glued seams, had costumes falling off of me at shows because it was just so poorly made.
The double-sided tape accident.
Yeah,
I've heard those.
tape.
Oh.
You know, crappy wigs from the Halloween stores, all the beginner's mistakes are stuff that I used to do. But over the years, because I always pick characters that I like. You know, I will never do a character that I am not a fan of the series from or a fan of the design, or most of the time both, because making a costume is such a big investment of time and money, and I'm not going to do that for something that I am not a big fan of.
Well, let me ask you, because you kind of answered a question for me that I wanted to ask you. I have to mention, and I apologize, one of my favorite costumes of yours is the Power Girl, but I won't go into. But let me ask you, just because when you mentioned that you won't do a character that you love,
right?
Let me ask you, with the announcement that she and the Huntress are going to be introduced into the New 52, what's your thoughts? Are you a little bit nervous?
I'm very nervous about the reboot stuff, because the reason why I like Power Girl is, and you know, I do get a lot of crap for that costume because I'm always labeled as, oh, you're just doing that for the attention. But I legitimately love Amanda Connor's art. I've met her. I love Jim's writing style. I really started liking Power Girl because I picked up one of the issues. I thought she was funny and interesting because they gave her own side world. So there was no Superman, there was no Supergirl. It was just her carrying her own series, and I thought she had enough character to do it.
I loved how in her solo book, it was very lighthearted and comedic.
Exactly, and I love the interaction between her and Tara. How they fight, you know, the monster destroying, like, you know, Ultra Humanite, and then they go shopping and like see a movie. It's so cute.
But it was also nice that in JSA All Stars, you got to see why she was a badass.
Right.
It was nice being able to see both sides of that character.
That's why I like the character. So I spent a long time on that costume. Like, the bodysuit is made out of pleather, so it's not like I just, you know, got a white leotard and cut it up just for the attention, but, you know, it's tailored specifically to me, and I liked the material because it's very thick, so I feel it looks more like her suit, like the way Adam Hughes and Amanda Connor draw it.
It's shiny, like there's
like it's not
material.
just thin, it's very thick, but at the same time, it's like a super pain to wear. Because it's like super hot, and then when it's cold out, it's super cold, and it's like I can't. I can move pretty well in it, but I can't. Like, to get into it takes a long time because it's not stretchy. So, and then the armor, you know, I actually hand painted, sanded it, sat there on my stairwell because it made the shoulder armor. But yeah, I am a legitimate fan of Power Girl, and I'm very nervous about the reboot because I don't want to see them take that character back away from her.
Exactly.
Power Girl has a really, I want to say, like,
she has her own history. history.
cast.
Yeah.
Only because they didn't know what to do with her for so long. Like, she was the daughter of Atlantis at one point.
Yeah.
She was,
Reboot.
she was from Krypton at another point. She was from another, universe of Supergirl.
Mm-hmm.
They never knew what to do with her until they gave her her own book, and they finally sort of cemented her in the canon. And now they're like rebooting her. So I'm sort of like,
That was the one thing I really hated was her solo book was really taking off strong, and it was so.
Yeah.
It was enjoyable. I really enjoyed reading it.
And then Amanda left the project. Now I'm sort of like, I don't know if I like it anymore as
I know.
much.
And it was awkward for me being a guy buying that book because I really did. I really liked it. But it was just like, oh, Power Girl. I'm like, no, man, this is hilarious. This is a good book.
Yeah, so I get a lot of crap for that costume, but I legitimately am a fan of the character, and I like her.
And I gotta say, you did it justice. I mean,
Thank you.
we check out a lot of conventions across America. So we're kind of limited to this age, so we
Right.
keep track. And I have seen a lot of
Power Girls.
And I'll just say this real quick. There are things you can't unsee. But yours was a complete delight. Not only that, but all the other works that you've done.
Thank you.
But speaking of the works that you've done, the big reason why you're here at OhioCon.
Yes, I'm here actually selling my artwork here at OhioCon. This is actually a strictly no fan art convention, so everything you see, I have my book for sale, is all original work, which is what I actually prefer to promote anyways, and not my fan art. But I have my original comic series, which is Tales of the Exorcist Indigo, or Indigo for short. And the website is indigocomic.com. It's basically about a wandering battle nun who fights demons. And I'm going to have the first book published by March of this year. So probably for like C2E2, I'll have it actually in print. And I'm already working on the second issue. I plan on making it like a 12-issue series. But for now, all I have is my sketchbook, which is basically a collection of my work from 2007 to 2011. And then again, by like C2E2 this year, I hope to have my 2012 book out. So this one would be like last year's. But yeah, that's what I'm here promoting.
So reminder viewers again, what are the website that we can check your work out?
My work is featured on AshleyRiot.com, which is just my name. It's AshleyRiot.com. That's my personal art site. And then my comics website is indigocomic.com. That's INDIGO comic.com. And then if you want to check out my costume work, it's just Queen Riot on Facebook.
Yep.
That's where I post all my costume stuff.
That's how I met her.
Thank you very much.
And no, thank you. I have to say that, we've talked to a lot of people. You were a pleasure to talk to because there's a lot of times, we put ourselves out there.
Right.
It's like,
I always decide, like, when I am a fan of something, I want to sort of bring the character to life. That's why I have this hobby. And, I want to put as much detail into it as I can. Like, my favorite character in the world is Bayonetta. And, like, I'm working on that right now. And it's just killing me because there's so much detail in it. And I'm so, like...
And that, weren't the heels like that big?
No, the heels aren't that big. It's that you have to put guns on the heels and learn how to walk in gun heels. But it's more like just the suit is so intricate, and I'm so like anal about all the details, and I'm like I have to get every little part right. So that's my next project.
Well, we look forward to seeing it.
Thank
and again, if you get a chance to, we'll have the websites down here at the bottom screen,
Awesome.
right here.
Very cool.
Check out. She's an amazing person. Again, thank you very much.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure to have an interview with someone that I'll actually be able to see. Because I had a bunch of people interview me at New York Comic Con, and then I never got to see it.
Well, don't worry. I'm friends with you on Facebook. It'll be down your throat. Like, here you are. Here we are. Share. Tag.
And then this weekend, I'm dressed as Leona from King of Fighters. I made this costume from scratch because I wanted the fabrics to match. And I just wanted like a comfortable costume that would fit with my blue hair.
Oh, real quick, while I'm thinking about the costume, a lot of people we know are into cosplay, evidently. What advice would you give to some? And then specifically, there are some young girls out there who want to get into cosplay, and they're a little nervous and a little scared. Is there any advice that you can give to them?
Absolutely. Like, first of all, again, like I said, the number one rule of the hobby is have fun with it. I've seen too many people stress out, like, oh, what if, people at the con don't like it? Or what if I don't get my picture taken 1,000 times? Like, why do you care if people recognize you? Because that's a lot of things that I hear. Like, who should I cosplay as? Who should I be recognized as? Like, why do you care about being recognized? Do something that you love. And I've noticed, like, because King of Fighters isn't a really popular series, and this costume is pretty old school. It's like from '96. But when you do something a bit more obscure that you really care about, you'll find that people are really impressed by it, because anybody who actually knows what you are is blown away. They're like my Millennia costume. Grandia is not a very popular game, but whenever somebody does recognize it, they freak out. They're like, "Oh my God, someone actually did Millennia! That's awesome!" So always do something that you personally love, and then try to make everything, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because a lot of beginner mistakes I see is where people will try to buy something that they can just sort of alter, and it doesn't really, like, with this you could say, like, oh, I'll go to a thrift store and maybe pick up a green shirt or something.
As I hold the mic with my completely thrift store Doctor Who costume.
Well, on the one hand, though, Doctor Who is a character who just sort of walked through the hospital grabbing clothes as
This
he
is
went.
true. Oh my God!
So at the same time, like, he's not something that you need to worry too much about. But yeah, try to make everything if you can. Try to learn how to sew. Pick up sewing tips. Hem everything, because that'll make your costumes last so much longer. That was one of my biggest mistakes when I was younger. Is I would wear the costume once, I would take it home and it was full of holes or just falling apart, because I wouldn't know certain sewing tips, like how to hem it, how to finish it on the inside so that it would last. Take care of your costumes. Wash them, please. Shower before you get into them. That's a big tip, because you don't want people being scared away from your cosplay.
Yeah.
Hygiene, hygiene in general.
Yeah. Comic conventions already have a bad enough stigma. Let's not add to it,
I've been
folks.
doing this for a decade now, and I've noticed that over the years there has been a positive influx of cosplay. Because when I first started, it was, if you did it, you were labeled ultra nerd, and you must never shower, and you must be gross, and you're fat and stupid and whatever. But I think over the years people have realized, wow, there's actually some really good people out there.
People are starting to realize it's an art.
It is. It's an art form, which is why you should always do what you enjoy. And so because of the media attention it's getting, basically, at a convention like San Diego Comic-Con, you'll actually have people like, wow, these aren't just nerds, they're actually like people who put a lot of time and effort into these costumes. Like, oh my goodness, these are actually better than movie costumes sometimes. So there has been a positive influx of it. So always try to be like a positive example of it, which is, again, like, take care of your hygiene so you don't become a stereotype.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No, again, I just want to thank you. I'm going to let you get back to work, because I know she has been, I thank you, because we've walked past and forth, and you have been uber busy.
You're welcome.
Thank you, and I know before I go, I am going to be purchasing something from you.
Thank you.
Again, thank you very much.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I look forward to seeing the podcast.
Now, what convention would be complete without a trip to the game room? Now, the great thing about it is this year, I've got a little secret weapon. I've got my sonic screwdriver Wii remote. Let's go see if we can go doctor on these guys. Geronimo. It's not very often that we get second chances here on Underground Video Network. If you watched our footage of Baycon from last year, we got a chance to talk to quite a few people, but there was a couple people that we just didn't get the time to talk to. Luckily here at OhioCon, I get a chance to remedy that situation. I'm here with Nigel.
Hi, pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you. I saw your work down at Baycon, absolutely love it. Can you tell us a little bit about your work?
Oh, sure. Well, I do a lot of symbolic abstracts and symbolism and stuff like that. The paintings that you see, like these guys up here at the top, those are part of, those are my paintings. I have a couple of series that I'm working on, one called Modern Day Atrocities, and then another one called Calamities of Fervor. The Modern Day Atrocities are about love and kind of the pitfalls of love, and stuff like that.
And given your art style, I've been in those situations.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. So, but it's more along the lines of how we fail to express love in a correct fashion and stuff like that. So, the final piece will actually be about love. You know, it's called Rebuttal to Modern Day Atrocities.
Right.
Stuff like that. And then the Seven Deadly Sins is the Calamities of Fervor, rather, is about the Seven Deadly Sins. So I started with one of them. That's the guy with the tongue sticking out up there, with the brain popping out. That's my pride piece. And then I've been painting a couple of the other ones. That one over there on the easel is my wrath piece. And then this one here that I'm painting right now is gluttony, stuff like that. So
I've put my foot in my mouth.
so yeah, but it's those are that kind of thing. Now, I have a degree in philosophy, and this is how I express my philosophy through my artwork, something like that. So the other stuff that I do, the symbolic abstract work, started off as tattoo designs, actually. So like the tattoos that I have on myself and stuff like that. It started off like that. People were like, "Can you do that for me?" And like buddies of mine and stuff like that. And I was like, "Yeah, sure, not a problem." And then they're like, "Can you do one for my friend?" And I'm like, "Your friend can pay." Okay, so and then people started wanting them for their walls and stuff like that. And so it kind of developed. Into
very organic. It wasn't like
style. Exactly. So that's pretty much what I do.
If you missed a chance to come and see him here at OhioCon, are there any other cons you're going to be at here in the near future?
In Columbus or
anywhere.
I do a lot of shows. If you go to my webpage, it's nigelsade.com.
We'll put that down right there.
And if you go to my webpage, you go to exhibits, you can see all the shows that I'm going to be at. I do about 20 or 30 shows a year, and I do about 6, I would say, in Columbus.
Great.
So yeah. All right.
Well, it was a pleasure to meet you. And if you get a chance to run into him, just take a look, man. This is phenomenal art. Stop by, pick up something, and again, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Continuing our coverage of OhioCon 2012, if you've watched the show or just even come to a con with me, you'll know one of my favorite parts of any con is the vendor's room. And as you can see, I've already made a quick withdrawal from the ATM machine. Wonder if there's any place here I can spend my money. Well, Rich, here we are. It's OhioCon 2012.
Yeah, the day's wrapping down.
Yeah.
And since this was your first con at OhioCon,
right,
what did you think?
Oh, I gotta say, I was more than impressed. With all due respect to any of the cons that we've been to before, this was a whole different world. This was a whole different animal than what I'm used to. 2 highlights for me was at the beginning of the day, we didn't get a chance to shoot it. Pictures will be up on the website. Just as we got in, we were just in time for get me into the Doctor Who group photo shoot. And for me, being a huge Doctor Who fan, to see that many Doctor fans all in one place was exceptional.
I thought the universe was going to explode with that.
Oh God, yes, yeah, that many Doctors shaking hands, greeting each other. The world should have concaved. The other highlight I have to mention, special thanks again to Ashley Riot, by far one of the loveliest, nicest people we've ever had on the show. I can't wait to be able to meet up with her again. Richard?
We've got a lot of the dealers are here. There's a lot of dealers. We showed that off.
Right. Grab me a couple t-shirts.
And we want to thank the staff.
Yes, thank you to everybody here at OhioCon, not just the administration. We want to take a chance to thank all the volunteers. I mean, these guys were busting their asses. I mean, you've got hundreds of people, and they're here to keep everyone moving and in line. Special thanks to the judges of the costume contest.
That was a neat interview.
That was. I like the idea because, you know, we focus so much on certain things. It's nice to be able to broad out. But again, like Richard said, we want to take this chance to thank everybody responsible here at OhioCon. Thank you for having us. I am not the 1%. Mike here, and we're still continuing our OhioCon coverage. Right now I'm downstairs in the main concourse area, and as you can see, there was a lot of...
You're under arrest for the suspected aid of rebel alliance.
I am not the doctor you're looking for.
You're not the doctor?
No, that's when you continue to drag me off.
I know.
Okay.
Come on.
Damn it, still not a Jedi.